Now I will start presenting what has to do with how we use the commas in relation to, first, dependent clauses. We use commas right after we start sentences with dependent clauses, as like in the sentences that we can see here. Example 1, although I have never considered it, I might apply to college soon. Example 2, why the movie was a flop, just the experts knew. Example 3, whomever you like, just make sure that is a decent person. Now, on the other hand, we also use dependent clauses when we start with introductory phrases. They follow the same guideline as with dependent clauses. So they should be right at the beginning of the sentence. Once the introductory phrases or the dependent clauses are over, we write a comma and then the main clause is next. Example number 1, while walking at the park, comma, an earthquake caught him by surprise. Example number 2, at the end of the day, I was content about what I had done. Example number 3, according to my dad, comma, the best pop singer was Michael Jackson. Okay. Now, there are some exceptions when using commas in relation to introductory phrases, especially when using words that have 4 or less. The use of commas is not mandatory as long as it is needed to avoid confusion. We got 2 examples of that. We can say before the movie, comma, let's make some popcorn, or we can say the same idea without a comma. Before the movie, let's make some popcorn. Another example, while in Rome, comma, do as Romans do. Again, we can say the same sentence with another example, while in Rome, do as Romans do. And as we stated before, commas would be better suited to clarify ideas. So we can say, for example, last class, comma, we worked on how to engage learners. The comma is introduced there in order to help the reader understand the idea better. Another exception to be taken into account when using introductory phrases is if we are using introductory prepositional phrases or not. So if that is the case, if we are using prepositions and introductory phrases, then a comma may not be required, even if we have more than 4 words in that introductory phrase. So we got here 3 examples. The preposition into starts in the sentence number 1, into the sparkling crystal ball he gazed. Example number 2, around this time of the year, many families take vacations. Again, the comma is not mandatory there. Near the edge of the road, you will find a lost puppy. All of them start with prepositions. However, what should we do if there is more than 1 preposition in the very same introductory phrase? Well, there is a big exception here, and this is a rule. We may use a comma as long as there is a verb immediately placed after the phrase, after the introductory phrase. So here's the example. Between your house on May Street and my house on 5th Road, comma, the mayor's mansion stands proudly. Now, the next example shows what was stated before. Let's see. between your house on Main Street and my house on Fifth Road is the mayor's mansion. The verb to be is immediately placed after the introductory phrase. So therefore, we don't have to use a comma there. In the first example, we can do it because the verb does not follow the introductory phrase immediately. Now we are going to practice these ideas on Manymeter. So I am going to share the link with you all. Okay. All right. So, well, we assume that students join this Manymeter presentation, and well, then they are going to do the following activities. There are 5 questions they're gonna reply. So the first one has to do with choosing the right sentence. Okay, here they will have to think where the comma is placed correctly according to what we discussed. So making a summary, we should use a comma when the sentence starts with a dependent clause or with an introductory phrase, unless it has less 4 words or less, and if a verb follows immediately the introductory prepositional phrase when this one has more than one preposition. Okay, so here the right sentence is, even though the pictures were close to him, they looked blurred. Next. Okay, here they have to select if this is true or false. We use commas when starting with independent clauses. And the answer is false, because we use a comma when using dependent clauses. Next question, question number 2. All right, here they have to, I am going to tell the students to join the sentences using the word, the word despite. All right, so they would write it. They would write one sentence joining these two using a comma. So it would be, they had a high temperature. No, sorry. Despite they had a high temperature, they got to work anyways. And that's it. The question number 3 goes like this. They have to unscramble. All right, so here there is an introductory phrase. It would be, at the beginning of the evening, comma, Daniel started walking his dog. And that's it, right? There's a comma because there is an introductory phrase. Next. Question number 4. Here it comes. They gotta choose the wrong sentence this time. Okay, based on the rules. Option number 1, when he came down, everybody had already gone. Option number 2, why they attacked the building, nobody knew. That option is wrong because that is a dependent clause, right? So there should be a comma there. Why they attacked the building, comma, nobody knew. Option 3, next to that and across from this, you'll find it. All right, that is correct, right? So the incorrect sentence is number 2. Okay, so now let's continue. This is the question number 5. And here it goes. they gotta choose the wrong sentence. All right, and based on the rules, they'll find that the option number 1 is right. The option number 2, down on the first floor, lots of flowers, you will see. That is okay too. The option number 3 is wrong. Whatever you do, just do it now. There should be a comma there because it starts with a dependent clause. Whatever you do, so a comma is required in the option number 3, so that is wrong. And that is everything about these rules. So now my classmate is gonna keep going with the presentation.